Today, we're tying the Squirmy Wormy. All right, Matt here with the Northern Angler. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We're a small, independent fly shop located in Traverse City, Michigan, focused on getting you confident and comfortable at the vise and on the water. If you get a chance, check out some of our videos. You might find something you like. For years, we tied the San Juan worm. It's a classic. It still works. Just because this is kind of the evolution of that fly doesn't mean that fly doesn't still work. The big difference between the classic San Juan worm and the Squirmy Wormy is the material. Really, we've gone to a silicone strand that moves really well in the water, but often gives tires fits. It's slippery, it's tough to bind down, and sometimes it breaks. So we have some tips today that are going to really help improve your Squirmy Wormies and hopefully make for a durable fish catching machine. Let's go ahead and talk about the materials we'll be using today. The hook is a Hanak H333BL. This is a barbless scud hook, though you can always substitute for just about anything you have on hand. I like sizes 10s and 12s, and I don't vary a whole lot unless I'm fishing really clear water. The tungsten bead is going to be silver. I find that silver and pink are a great combination in colder weather. The thread is Vivus 140. A flat, strong thread is really important here because the material we're using today is extremely slippery. That body material is going to be Castor Squirmito. There's tons of great colors in this material, and I find it to be a little bit thicker than some of the other offerings on the market. What holds this all together is the Loon soft head. This is a flexible head cement that really allows us to make much more durable versions of this fly. Let's go ahead and place this hook securely in the vise. I already have a silver tungsten bead here backwards, so the large hole is forward. We're going to start our thread right behind the eye. Do about 5 or 6 turns, no more. Careful, if you add too much thread tension, it'll just come undone. I'm going to grab my Squirmy Wormy material here. I'm going to take a piece, I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to fold that in half again and trim it again. So you get 2 smaller pieces that will make up our body today. The tie-in point for this first piece is about halfway. It's really important that you have a little bit extra material to hold in your offhand. Otherwise, it's just going to slip out the front. Really important. All right. I'm going to use a pinch wrap here. I'm going to do 2 wraps. And then I'm going to wrap one in front and one in the back. And then back to the front. And that's going to lock this material in. And now you can add a little bit of thread tension. I'm going to use my left hand here. And this is going to happen a lot in this fly where I'm grabbing this material in front with my left hand and tensioning it. I'm going to wrap on top and then back to the shank. Wrap on top, back to the shank. And that is when we're going to do a little whip finish up front. Just about 3 turns. This does 2 things. Number 1, locks that material in the front. Careful, when you pull, it will try and rotate. That's okay. And 2, it kind of bumps up that front piece so that it's a lot easier to thread your tippet when you're ready to tie a new fly on. Grab this rear piece here, tension it, not too much. Trim it. All right, looks like we got that nice and locked in. Time to grab the secret weapon of this fly, and that is Loon soft head. This is a flexible head cement that really makes these flies much more durable. It comes with a brush adapter or brush applicator here. I'm just going to give my thread a hit and the worm material a hit. And it's okay if you glob this stuff on. It's a lot like Elmer's glue. You can peel it off later. I'm going to slide the bead forward, and that's going to cover up our thread wraps and make this fly just a little bit more durable. Grab my thread again, and I'm going to get started right in front of that or behind that bead. I'm going to build a little bit of a thread dam just so it's not sliding around. Trim that excess thread. I'll work back down into the bend. Don't go too far, you don't need to. And I'm really not worried about this being a nice, pretty taper. But having a thread body on here gives this material much more to grab onto, and it tends to make for a much more durable fly. Grab that other half that we trimmed earlier, and I'm going to measure this so that the front of this worm material kind of meets up with the front of the bead here. I'm going to do another pinch wrap. Big point here before I tie this in, I'm not going all the way down to bare shank. I actually like to stop maybe an eye length up from where my thread ends on the back end. Do 2 pinch wraps without a whole lot of thread tension. 1 wrap in front, 1 behind, and then again to the front. Again, we're just trying to lock this material in. This is really important. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spin my bobbin counterclockwise. I'm trying to flatten this thread out. This just gives you more surface area to bind down and hold this material in place. Don't get too frustrated. It fights everyone. So I'm going to wrap forward, advancing my thread. I'm going to bring this left hand in that I talked about again. I'm going to tension this material. I'm going to put a wrap on top, and I'm going to go straight to the shank, and I'm still holding tension here. I'm going to do 1 more wrap up the shank. That's going to advance my thread. Release, grab again, capture, and then I'm going to go to the shank, and then 1 to advance. Capture, shank, advance. Capture, shank, advance. Now I'm at the bead, all right? This is not the time to trim this off just yet. We really need to make sure it's locked in. So I'm going to go again and spin my bobbin, flatten this thread out. This nice 140 is a great flat thread. Go on top of the worm material again, back to the shank on top, back to the shank, and I'm going to add some thread tension. And now you can trim it off. Grab your whip finish here again. You can do 2 or 3 whip finishes, whatever makes you feel confident. I'm trying to crank out a lot of these. Pretty fast fly, right? Look at this. Now back to the secret sauce here, this soft head. First I'm going to coat the thread underneath. You really got to be careful. This stuff will glob everywhere because of that brush applicator, but that's okay. It won't hurt the fly. Then I'm going to rotate the fly and just totally coat that whole thing. Oop, got a little on the point there. That's okay. Feel like you got too much, just wipe her off. It's not going to hurt you. Hang these, let them dry. This is the Squirmy Wormy. That's it for this fly today, everyone. I hope you get a chance to tie this and maybe try it out on your next outing. Let us know if you have any questions down in the comment section below, or maybe share your experience tying or fishing this fly. If any of this was helpful, think about hitting that thumbs up button that helps other people find these videos. If you'd like to support this channel, think about buying your materials from a small local fly shop. Whether it's us at thenorthernangler.com or the shop just down the street from you, I know they'll appreciate your business. As always, everyone, hope to see you soon on the water or in the shop.